Okay, good night. This will be a microscopic examination of six slides. Eventually, it was more than I thought, than I planned. Hopefully, we will do it quickly, so it won't be too long and too tiresome. So what we actually have here is quite a bit. Actually, we have two slides from the tuna can that was cooked several times. This one we took in the big, the colossal, the train material from this one. So two more examinations from this one, and these are the two, 1 and 2. Yes. Okay. Actually, so what's special about it is that I melted it before I took it with an iron tool, like metal tool, and I melted it on the mangle that was operating before I placed it on the slide because it was too heavily with wax. So it's actually exactly the other way. I mean, usually you do that in order to sterilize like a mixture, but I did it in order, like I melted the wax in order for it to be kind of like to be able to spread it on the slides. So I melted it on top of the mangle. Now we also have one slide from one mixture from the second melted, the second wax container that I prepared yesterday. Without the oil from the ancient from the 1-year-old oil container, also melted the same way. This is the third one. Now we have two more, the blue and yes, the blue and the red, and the one with the cockroach that were taken from this one, which is just an oil mixture that was left, in the cabinet. It's almost empty, but there is still enough junk for it to take quite a bit of examination, and it was kept open to the oxygen all the time, so we might see life forms. The bug was just, so there was a bug that was just there. Probably entered, I'm not sure if it's like an alien bug or regular bug. Maybe we'll be able to watch it under the microscope and see. Of course, we cannot cover it. It's without the cover because of the bulkiness of the bug. Maybe we wouldn't be able to see much, but anyway, it's going to be interesting. And the last one is just, a mixture of yeast that was bloated or sour today. But as opposed to the yeast that I used in the last couple of days, this one contains a little bit of Nero juice. From, let me recall where. I think just from the, maybe from the here, maybe from this one, yes, or maybe from this one, or probably from this one, because this is more liquidy. This is like waxy and difficult to mingle with the yeast. So it's yeast and a little bit of Nero juice. Okay, so we have quite a bit. Let's start. So I'm getting a report from the fleet that several starships now, have completed, the hyperspace journey and are now in orbit, which is maybe for Yom Ha'atzmaut, I don't know. Maybe it was coordinated for Yom Ha'atzmaut. Oh, you shouldn't be too worried. If you were not worried until now, you should be super worried. But if you were not worried until now, it's nothing. There is, what I call the continuous nature of the renewal, which is also applied to the cherubs, like the Caribbean starship. That you don't do things in a surprise. You plan ahead and you do things gradually. I call it the continuous nature of the neurons. So it's the same now. It's just most starships are just it's not just it's important, but it's the same effect but amplified, which means more of the same. Like, I mean, more additional radiation and also additional bicycle effect, which means that when neurons affect each other, it will be affected like in a greater way because of the number of the Sashi that energized neurons. And this is applied to all sort of like symbolic effects of the neurons, both the ones that I do and the ones that the zombies or the pig operators are doing, and all sort of other creatures of the Israeli, creatures of the rituals of the Israeli flora and fauna. Just a second. There are also zombies in the outside. I mean, don't mind them. I need to warm up the charcoals for the hookah. I don't want them to the fires, to lose the heat. Okay. So the old bracer one. Let's start with the two from the Halva, עם המנת קרב של החלבה. זה נראה כמו מנת קרב של חלבה, ביחד עם כמו אמרתי, ביחד עם פחית של גלחץ, של צחצוח נעליים שחור כזה, של מגפיים צבאיות, ביחד עם החלבה של המנת קרב, שהיא אגב אחלה חלבה, מצוינת, חלבה לעתים מהמשובחות. באופן מפתיע, כל שאר הדברים במנת קרב זה גועל, אבל זה דווקא בסדר גמור. So we'll do it quickly, because we have much to do, so I want to do it quick. I'll try to do it quickly, and just going over very very briefly, unless there is some kind of very interesting finding that we might want to discuss. But otherwise, let's just try to do it relatively quickly. Okay. So 64 magnification. The complete robot as the base, like the Asimov complete robot. So impossible to focus, I'm not sure why. Probably too much wax. Yes, too much wax. So we actually don't see much interesting stuff, like mostly debris. Maybe just because there's too much material. I mean, when you use, it's difficult to put like wax on, on the slide without, in a proper way, because like if you melt it, I mean, I'm not sure it's like a valid method, like to melt it and put it like on a microscope. Otherwise, it's so thick, and it's so thick anyway, so it's just difficult to focus. But what can you do? That's the problem with very waxy, stuff. It's like hell, but I mean, not much to see. Okay. Not every slide is like winning the lottery. Okay, so maybe here, I don't know. This is 160. You've seen like a nice neon here, but generally we don't see much. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Maybe too many, burns. I'm not sure like what happens actually. Maybe the slide is not properly created. Maybe it was taken from the, not from the correct place. Okay, so this is nice because this is actually life form. Very nice one. I'm not sure of what type, but you see Neos walking on it. Which is great. You even see the letter C, which is associated with, I don't know exactly what. Remind me, I always forget. What is the letter C associated with? Is it like a head of intelligence, like M or... Like who's M? Like it's in the British, maybe it's like the secretary Moneypenny M, or... I don't remember, like someone from the MI6. So, what is C? I always forget. It's something like M, or maybe it's like something related to the alien culture. I don't know. Just please remind me, what is C exactly? What is this? I'm not sure. Maybe, למה התינוק בוכה? תבדקו למה התינוק בוכה. תבדקו למה יש תינוק בדירה שבוכה. תבדקו למה התינוק בוכה. Let's try to take a look in higher magnification. Maybe it will be interesting. What is it? I'm not sure what it is. I mean, if someone knows, please tell me. It looks like a tiny, life form. Like, like, not even microscopic, like, even smaller than that. I mean, yeah, more than one. You see, there are plenty of these tiny microscopic life forms. I'm not sure that you should even speak about it too much. Really tiny. I mean, התינוקות בוכים פה מאחורי הדלת שלי. מישהו יכול לבדוק למה? אולי רוצים חלב, מטרנה? אולי יש קקי בחיתול? תבדקו אם יש קקי בחיתול. So I'm not sure, like, what exactly is it? You tell me. I'm not sure, like, it seems like extremely microscopic, like, small microscopic things. יש פה בעמודים הישראלים, יש להם אולטרה, אתם רואים אולטרה 8K, זה כאילו, זה המומחיות שלהם בהנדסת אנוש. They are constructing the AI like that. They are so good at that, I mean, they can even construct, alien from another civilization that they don't even know. They send all sorts of babies, mostly a couple of months old, not even the usual children that are 8 years old, which, I mean, are, consist, the intelligence services will consist of, but even like much younger than that, like literally babies, and like they cry all around you, but they cry, I mean, when their mothers tell them to cry, and then presumably you become their puppet. Like, I mean, they can tell you get out of the apartment now to stop the radiation because the Earth is fried by the starships, and it's extremely important that I'll be out of the the apartment because I block the radiation, and they know it very well. Because these are the starships are of my species. So, I mean, what do? Is they just mean, they just push the mother tells the babies to cry like in a specific time. And then, like supposedly, I feel compelled, like, in hypnotic power or something to leave the apartment. It's a wonderful technique. No, it never really works. Like, it's not supported by any kind of evidence. It's more like a religion, It's like something that relates to the realm of belief. It's like it's a nice thing to, kind of like, a nice thing to, to ponder about. Like, I mean, it's not really something that you need to check, to verify in any way, and you could not verify it because it's like, because it's obviously wrong. But I mean, it doesn't matter because, I mean, the truth value of such statement is not defined specifically, by kind of like, how it matches like a demonstrable, aspect of reality. This is like, a very plebeic thought, very like, very, I would say, like of commoners. Like, it does not like take into account the symbolic language of the, of the Shabbatniks, like the symbolic construction of their worldview. Very interesting. I'm not sure what I will see here, but I mean, it looks like microscopic something. This is also in this thing. These are larger ones of the same. Very nice. And also Nero's small ones. Okay, so what is this? So we see Nero moving, which is great. Watch them moving, which is great. You see the Nero moving? It's much easier to see the smaller ones moving. Like the larger ones are like behemoths. They move, not that quickly. But the smaller ones, I mean, of course, it's related to their size. I mean, this is like 600 or 700 magnification. So you see them moving. I'm not sure what they do. I'm not sure what are all these ticks. Like, are these like, I don't know, like life forms like in the making? I'm not sure. Maybe we can ask the babies and their mothers because they're like expert in making life forms. So we can ask the babies and their mothers. Very interesting. Very interesting. This is certainly life form, like big one on the making. Nice. Okay, very nice. So now for another one from the same container, the Halva container. Okay, this is the one. So this was colored with both red and blue, because some people asked me in the comments that they want to see something purple. So I said, okay, why not? Even though I'm not sure it's like like it's not the same kind of like exactly hue, like it's all sort of colors actually, like yellow, I think purple, all sorts. So we will see Nero's much more clearly, of course. Like straight from the beginning, we see many Neros. We have too much material on this one as well. Hopefully it will not be a huge problem. But we've seen Neros immediately, you see, like the smaller ones, the bigger ones. Very nice. This is a very big Nero, and another one next to it. Very nice, very nice. תבדקו למה התינוק בוכה. This looks like an asteroid, which is also nice. This is a Nero for certain, like the round one. You could see by the ring, the white ring within the black one, as is like as it's easily seen like in the fat Neros, big Neros I mean. So we see all sorts of Neros in all sorts of forms, which is great, like robots doing work, presumably working on some life form, but there is just too much material. Probably working on something. Art maybe? Maybe art. Wow, beautiful Neros, really. Yeah, it's really great, really nice. Another nice worm, what is this? Yeah, a worm of some sort. And a beautiful Nero next to it. Maybe we can zoom a little bit, I don't know. Wow. So again, 160. Beautiful ones. not much life forms actually in this one. Maybe melting it like, before putting it, on the slide is not the best strategy. So maybe I avoid this idea next time. You see, this one is working on a life form. Very interesting. Very nice. Nice warm. Not sure exactly where it is, and we're not sure what on adjacent to it. Let's zoom in. Let's try to use like the 600-700 magnification now. So here we see. So this is the time bacteria in forming, like, but it's still it's still in formation, like. So maybe we try to zoom in even more. You see the body. Very nice snake. And also looks like little snakes besides it. I'm not sure they are related in any way. I mean, you tell me, what do you think? Are they related? Also, Nero's nice, very nice. So I pushed, the slide like with the maximum magnification, and then it creates, like a huge flow. I need a bigger microscope. Yeah, I can change the musical score, like even if it's not like to your taste. I mean, just whatever It's, just write me in the comments. I can change it. It's a beautiful Neo, actually. Okay, kind of interesting slide, especially the light effect. The VFX, the artist react component is very nice here. These ones are also beautiful. Okay, so enough with that one. So now let's continue with the the one that was prepared yesterday. It was buried on top of the smaller ones, like that one, this one, this one. Again, melting was required because of it's just it's too much wax, so I melted it. I'll take a bite of something. זה לחם בוכרי כזה. מוכרים את זה פה ברחוב, בישראל גורי, לחם בוכרי. איזה סק. You heard the Ultra is strong with this guy. I mean, both of them, both Tasman Pitui and Bob Sponge Squarepants, they are expert in psychological conditioning, not just humans, of aliens as well. The best of the best. חונקת נביא חונקת קצת, צריך לטפל בזה. אוקיי. Okay, we start with like a nice, I'm not sure what it is. You can ask why there are things outside of the cover, but it's also almost always like that, almost always like that, because like when I prepare it, like much of the juice is spilled like all over the place, so there is always stuff outside the cover. This is nice. So we see quite a bit of of worms in this container, even though it was burned just yesterday without much time, but still they created like nice worms already. We can say it for sure. You see here as well, I mean, quite a bit of worms, and not zombies, like real worms, living ones, not zombies. Which is nice. The zombies are the hollow shells, they are פוחלצים כאלה שבפנים זה ריק. Too much material. I'm always too greedy and place too much material on the slide, and then there is the problem. This slide was not created neatly. It's very difficult to focus. And maybe I take another one from the same container, because I have only one from this container. And that time, this time I will do it in a way that it will be easier to focus. This is a nice worm, not a zombie, like a real one. Too much, too heavily stained. Let's zoom in here because it looks interesting actually. Well, I'm not sure why the babies are crying. I apologize for that, but they're definitely crying. I'm not sure what they're missing to them. This looks like in a microscopic life, like duds, like worms to be, but they will never become worms because They are outside of the working environment, but in here you see nice neros working on stuff. This is interesting. This was a very interesting trigger, like, psychological trigger right now. Very interesting. The ultra, I mean, it's like a wonderful, the Israeli ultra is a wonderful, corpus of knowledge that is always, surprising me with its like arcane wisdom. I mean, arcane wisdom, of course, and with fusion of modern science and modern, understanding of the human psychology that they are. I mean, all the pedophile zombies are, and their teenager operators. I mean, they are experts in such things because of their understanding in sexuality, in psychology, and everything. I mean, that's their expertise. Presumably, that's their expertise. So they devise not just like the American ultra or the Russian, the famously Russian, the Soviet method, but it's something like that is much more complicated and effective. I mean, not effective like like by way of measures, actual like measures like that you actually they record stuff and you compare it. This is like it's more like street smart, it's not like academic thing. That's what's great about it. That I mean, it works in real life, like not in it doesn't belong to the realm of statistics and all this kind of boring stuff that I mean are just for high-minded, but I mean detached from reality academics. This is like more street smart. So yeah, I mean it's amazing, the blending of all the new ancient methods, ancient traditions with the top-notch, cutting-edge understanding of human psychology, not only human but also robotic psychology and alien psychology, all types. They're expert in all types of psychologies and certainly all types of sexualities, which is of course extremely important because we do. I mean, this is a post-Freud world. We understand the relationship between the self-image and sexuality, and this is of course pertinent in order to take control over people. Like you see that the zombies are doing very successfully now. So in order for that, I mean, you need to be expert not just in psychology in general, but also specifically in human sexuality, in alien sexuality, robot sexuality, all forms of sexuality. I mean, they are experts, with their 1 centimeter dick and virginity, eternal virginity, and complete dependency on their mothers. So these are the people that more than everybody else, they are experts on the field of psychology and sexuality. Presumably, I mean everything is presumably, but maybe I don't know. Maybe presumably, this is a nice life form. Maybe we'll zoom in a little bit. It's not a train bacteria. I told you, I mean, that I had a good feeling that we will see actually other stuff in today, and we actually see all sorts of other stuff, not just the train bacteria. למה התינוקות צועקים? למה התינוקות צועקים? למה התינוק צועק? So we see all sorts of other stuff here, not the train bacteria, but other very nice life forms that are evidently not the train bacteria, but they are also interesting. And we also have seen a little bit of the train bacteria. I mean, I'm too greedy. I always place too much stuff, on the slide. It's a problem. I need to stop doing it, to be more realistic in the expectations from reality. I would say this is true to many people here. There is a huge gap, between the expectation and between the actual world. But I mean, there are more experts, in the fields of psychology and hard, natural sciences. Shit. So I moved the slide, I mean, I wanted to avoid it exactly. Because I used the maximum magnification, I moved the cover from the slide. So let's stop using the slide. And hopefully not much stuff was stuck to the, to this lens, to the objective lens, like of the higher one, higher objective lens, like 40 magnification. Okay, so enough with that one. I mean, it was interesting, but I mean, too much material. Maybe we need to prepare another one, like from the same container. So in order for that to be not too long, I will stop the video now and immediately start upload, and then on the parallel, we'll start another examination of the other three. We have two more, from this container, which presumably, I mean, one of them is with the bag, so we wouldn't be able to use the cover and maybe focus problem, but the other is without the bag, and maybe it will give us like a good results because it's more oily, it's without the bags. And the last one is from the east.